When I was 8, my sister told me to sit still at the kitchen table. She'd be right back with a special surprise. This turned out to be a wiffle bat strike to the head. Similar to this wiffle bat encounter, my experience with motherhood has not turned out the way I expected. No one warned me about the special surprises that were to come. While I was nervous about becoming a mother, I looked forward to being pregnant. I recalled the image of the near-naked 7 months along Demi Moore on the cover of Vanity Fair and thought, sign me up. How hard could this be? I'll have fabulous hair, giant boobs, skin to match my upcoming newborn, and the sex drive of a 20-year-old. With no PMS for 9 months, who wouldn't be on board? Except that I ended up pregnant with twins. And nobody warned me that the 75 pounds I'd gain would make my ass wider than my stomach and my upper arms comparable to my pre-pregnancy thighs. Nor was I given a clue that fluid retention would mean that my football-sized feet could wear only men's slippers, and my eyeballs would swell so badly I could no longer read or watch TV. As far as the dewy skin prediction went, I ended up with melasma, or the mask of pregnancy. The brown and pink splotches covering my cheeks and forehead made me look as if I had fallen face first into a giant patch of poison ivy and then endured a discount chemical facial peel. The only bright spot in my appearance was highlighted by a model gorgeous Texan friend who looked from my puffy ankles to the hot air balloon-sized skirt to my blotchy face with the expression of one who has observed an impressively grotesque Halloween costume. She recovered and then drawled, "Well, at least your hair looks gorgeous." After I went through the delivery that resembled none of the descriptions I'd been given in birthing class, women would stop me in Costco noticing the 2 babies in my cart. Are they twins? This question I had expected. Are they identical? Also predictable. Then came the conversational twist I hadn't seen coming. Because I was married to an identical twin, and he could never leave his brother. They'd glare at me as if I were personally responsible for all the bad choices of every twin husband in the history of womankind. I lost 12 years of my life, they'd roar after me as I fled for the bakery. After all these useless warnings and unhelpful advice, I actively sought input from mothers I trusted. I queried twin moms about breastfeeding. Most said they either A, nursed both babies no problem, or B, gave it up as a bad job and stuck with formula. No one told me I'd end up with one infant who could latch on and one who couldn't. Nor did they mention that milk would spew from my breasts like an out-of-hand kitchen spray hose as I attempted to have the skilled latcher start boob 1, then switch to boob 2, and then attach the struggler to the second boob. Although I suspect that prior knowledge of this scenario would not have made it any more successful. Then my mother assured me that her children were potty trained by 18 months. So I assumed that was easy. By age 3.5, my boys were still shaking their heads at M&M bribes and sitting naked on the potty for an entire Muppets movie, then standing up and peeing all over the floor. There were unexpected surprises on the positive side, too. Twin A would wake up serenading us with songs from the Disney Cars movie, and Twin B would hide in any closet or cupboard and burst out, literally shouting, "Surprise!" dozens of times a day. It was funny every time. Eventually, I stopped listening to all the advice givers and somehow made it to the kindergarten phase on my own. Slowly, I got back on my bike, laced up my hiking boots, and was able to wear at least some of my pre-pregnancy jeans. When I'd been anxious about becoming a mom, whether I could handle it, and if I would suck, all mothers said I'd fall in love with my babies. You can't help it, they told me. And after countless nights where the only comfort for a child with an ear infection was sleeping on my chest, and many images of muddy faces at the back door holding long-stem sunflowers, I realize it's the only thing anyone told me about motherhood that turned out to be true.